Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Women Wednesday. And I'm your host, Lady B. Bless. We have another exciting show for you guys today. Sorry about that in the beginning. I was a little mute, but I'm on mute now. You know, Women Wednesday, we spotlight women in leadership roles. It's a weekly look of women that are doing amazing things as role models, as mentors, as change makers, as community leaders, as presidents and CEO, and even executive directors and boss ladies. These women that we spotlight every week are definitely women that leads. This week we have Unveiling the Illusion, Know Who You Are by Dr. Harris Barrow. Now, she is the CEO of Love, Truth, and Peace, the World Trade and Investment Foundation, and Harris Business Enterprise, which is just a small snippet of her CEO ship. She is the Universal Peace Ambassador for Panama. She's an author, motivational speaker, life coach, international bestseller, talk show host like myself, philanthropist, CEO, as I mentioned, of Love, Truth, and Peace, the World Health, the World Trade and Investment Foundation, and Harris Business Enterprise. Among her specialties are international economic investment and trade development, sustainable economic development through entrepreneurship, and youth empowerment through entrepreneurship. So, without any ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Hello, my darling. You are looking gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
So are
out the
you, my
kitchen,
sister.
queen.
So are you.
How
How
are
are
you
you?
today? Let me ask. Oh, I'm good.
Good.
Wonderful to see you.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful
you.
to see you. I
Thank
love
you.
this lady. I follow her secretly on Facebook. I'm like her secret stalker. I don't think she knows it yet, but she'll find out. I've just been stalking her. She's doing everything. And what brought her to my attention is that a couple months ago, she did a trip to Ghana. And I was like, who is this woman standing with our chief and dressed in her regality and everything? And then she spoke.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes,
And she
I
took my
did.
breath away.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
You
you.
see, it's not often that happens, but I was really, really taken back by her speech. And not only that, her articulation, the way
Thank
she
you.
spoke and her passion in her speech. And then from then, I discovered that we shared a couple different platforms and friends in common. So
Yes.
I sent her that friend's request, you know how we
Yes.
do,
Yes, we
so
do.
I could stalk her some more. And then eventually we met up on WhatsApp, and we've had this sisterhood going. And I said,
Yes.
I have to get her on the show. I really have to sit down and talk to this magnificent woman
Thank
and
you.
see what else she has going on. And then I noticed that she had a book, and I love the title, Unveiling the Illusion. Find out who you are, really are. So, without any ado, just introduce yourself.
Yes. Yes.
I know I introduced you, but give us a little more about yourself, and then let's go into this book.
Yes, actually, the book is my life, actually. I decided everyone kept telling me, Dr. Barrow, please write a book, write a book. So I decided to sit down one day and write this book. So the book entails many things about my life. I think the whole book is my life, actually. And we're going to talk about it in a little bit. There's so much going on in the world today, so much happening in the world, and we need to take time out and reflect. And I think we need to do a lot of that. There are only two uh, places a person may live: in the reality of that which has been created for them by others, or out of the creativeness of their own mind. We have been living
Not to
a
cut
life
you.
that is not even
Could you
ours.
say that again? Say that again.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so
yes,
much.
I can.
Don't mean to cut you, but that
No,
point
that's
you just said,
okay.
it
I
made me,
said,
it sent a little chill up my spine.
yes, Actually, um, there are only two places a person may live, um, in the reality of that which has been created for them by others. And that's so crucial. Or out of the creativeness of their own mind, which God gave them. That is so important. So I realized at one point in my life that I wasn't living my life based on what God has given me. I was living a life of what man um, trained me to do. I was living a life of fear. I was living a life of wondering what's next, living a life not knowing that this world is pretty much an illusion created by man. And I do believe that what a person believes about himself or herself to be true cannot be denied by their consciousness. And it's seen in their footprints throughout time. In order to obtain, Lady B, infinite peace, one must first love themselves. You cannot do anything in this world or expect anyone to love you unless you love yourself. So, enough to acknowledge, you have to acknowledge and embrace the truth about who they are and what they want in this life. So I had to sit down and I had to think about that. I had to think about what is it that God gave you before birth, not after you arrive, but before birth. So what he gave me before birth, I had to go back and unveil all the illusion. I had to purge. I had to get rid of everything that man has given me and go back and embrace the things that God gave me and practice it. And this is why I'm doing the work that I'm doing, because some people say, Dr. Barrow, ain't you tired? You cannot be tired when in fact God has given you a spirit of resilience, a spirit of courage. You understand? So, with that spirit of resilience and courage, I realize I'm never tired because the things that He already put in me before birth, I'm living it now.
Okay.
I am living it now. I am so at peace because I'm dealing with truth. When you deal with illusions, you're never going to be at peace. So, this is why it's important for us to renew our minds. And, I have to say this, when I used to go to church, and I said used to, because I discovered that I wasn't finding myself as quickly as I wanted to, because I was being hindered by those that wanted me to continue to live the illusion, you see, that was created by man. So once I freed myself and I seek the truth, this is when I started loving me. This is when the consciousness starts saying, Mel, this is not who you are, but this is who you are. You have to embrace humanity. You see, you have to embrace everything that God has blessed you with and not what man has given you. We're always seeking for to be rich. I want a car. I want this. I want that. But the true essence of our lives is to be at peace and is to seek the truth in order to get to that place where God really is. So I had to build that relationship with God, not how mom taught me, not how dad taught me, not how grandma taught me, but I had to go back and I had to figure out everything that they had said to me was giving to them. So now I had to take that step and seek God directly without any interference by man
For yourself,
for myself.
for your spiritual
For
well.
me, exactly. And that's why I am the woman that I am today. This is why you see me traveling all over the world, because I want to bless others
Yes.
of what I know
And I
and
I
what I've
always,
experienced.
that is so beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
it's
Yeah.
wonderful because I always tell people it's not for the daughter or the son to repeat the sins of the father or the mother.
Hmm.
If you are growing up and you realize that they are worshiping a way that doesn't speak to your mind or
Hmm.
speak to your soul,
Hmm.
then it's up to you then to decide to seek and then find, and as you say, practice what resonates with your soul.
Hmm.
So that is so beautiful. I bet it changed not only your life but the life of people around you.
There
Did you
you go.
gain friends, lose friends, realize that this was a waste of time, realize that this relationship wasn't for me? How did it change around you?
It's very easy. People, when they see others successful, but not just successful financially, but spiritually,
Happy.
and they're at peace and they're happy,
Yes.
and everybody is questioning, well, why is she so happy? What is it about her, and what is she experiencing in order for her to always be happy? See, from the moment you and I were born into this world, our existence has circumvented within intermittent phases of experience we cannot control. So, good, bad, or indifferent, our personal preference, preference is irrelevant. You see, all that life has to offer begins to pile up at our feet. Everything is piling up. So life proves to be continuous cycle of intermittent high and low. So this balance is how the universe and nature works. See, there's something that we don't do anymore. We don't appreciate what God has created. We don't even appreciate the air that we breathe,
The sunrise and the
the
sunset.
sunrise. So when everyone is telling me that I have to go to church on Sunday and worship God, that's a timeline. That is a ritual. I don't want to have a relationship with God in a ritual way. I want to naturally have a relationship with God. I want to be able that when I feel the air, God. When I see the sun, God. When I see the moon, God. All natural things on the earth is God. So that way now I'm having a daily, continuously building that relationship with God, appreciating the seed, appreciating the food that's growing from the ground, thanking God every day. We lost that. We have lost the fact that we no longer appreciate on a daily basis just breathing. We appreciate it when we lose it. And when we gain it back, that's when we appreciate things.
Yes,
When
yes,
our
that's
back
true.
hurt, when your back
Yes,
is in pain, you recognize the pain. But when it's gone, you're like, okay, I feel good again. But you're not appreciating the fact that when it's gone, you know, that God has blessed you for these things. It's just like uh, I was sick for 9 years, ill. I lost my kidney.
wow.
And
Nine
thank God I've never had dialysis. Thank God. But I took those 9 years, my sister. 9 years I was ill, but I took that time to connect with God. I took that time to build that relationship. I took that time to find out, instead of saying, God, why did you do this to me? I took that time to discover and find out not the why, but why is it that this happened to me, in the sense where He wants me to do something. There's something missing. So I took that time and built that relationship with God. And I discovered all the things that I was seeking for was the wrong things. They were
Wow.
all the wrong things. So when he brought me back to my senses, that's when I decided now, this is about humanity. This is not about fear. This is about resilience. This is no longer about hiding and ducking and not being able to speak truth. This is about courage. You understand? So the courage brought me to where I am today. The spirit of resilience brought me to where I am today. You see, success for me has nothing to do with having a big house or car or all these things. Success to me is now I redefine what success is for me. Success is not what man taught me. He taught me that I have to have all these trinkets in order to be successful. Not true. After 9 years of being ill, and now I am who I am today. I couldn't even walk from not even I was in bed. I was so ill. But now I understand what success is. My health, building the relationship with God, no longer in pain, no longer suffering. I had sores all over my body. 9 years. No one would have taught. My complexion was so dark. I was swollen. It was horrible. But he blessed me. How? By me seeking truth. So now that I know the truth, I am that I am. You see? So in realizing that suffering is only temporary, we unveil our opportunity to make something positive out of any negative situation. So we consider that in our lives as negative, but actually God slowed me down. You see? So this thought process and way of thinking can only be developed when you first understand the balance of experiencing life in focusing on your actions. And that action is to to be what God created you to be. That's it.
I'm
That's
just
the idea.
I just love to hear you talk. So it's like I'm just keep talking. I
Yes.
someone that's listening and they would say that they feel like they've been suffering their whole life. We
Mhm.
know that poverty is not a gift and we should not really accept poverty, but there's people that's in dire poverty. I mean,
Yes.
day in, day out. They wake up, they go to sleep, they wake up and it's the same situation over and over again. You suffered for 9 years. I've known friends that's been on dialysis for 5, 6 years, still don't have a kidney, and it's been very hard. What message do you give to those people of hope?
A hope, a very strong word. Um, when
Hope
I
or
was ill
faith?
for the yeah, when I was ill for the 9 years, in the beginning, because I'm a very active woman, in the process, I was doing so many things. And when my body broke down, my mind broke down. And I spent the first 3 years trying to figure out what's going on with my life. Am I going to die? Because when you are in that situation, all you think is about debt, debt, debt. Nothing else come to your mind. So mentally, I'm preparing to die. One interesting thing, though, that I want to share with the audience is this. How I found out that I had kidney disease is that my son had to get his physical for the year for school. And I took him. And I just happened to say, doctor, could you just check my blood pressure? And he checked it 10 times, 10 times, or probably 11 times because he couldn't believe the reading. My reading was like 286 over 190.
And you were
Um,
walking.
I was walking, talking like I'm talking right now. And the body gets used to the pressure being so high. I used to get headaches, but I just blew it off. So when he said that, he said, Dr. Barris, I don't want you to even say a word. We're going to call the emergency room and we're going to get you over to the emergency
Yeah,
room. Your
because
blood
that's a
pressure,
very high blood
that,
pressure.
yes. And I got to the emergency room. They've never seen anything like that because the monitor only goes to 300. So the doctors, they were all like, they could, and I'm talking. So they had to give me something to pretty much comatose me. And, but I do remember the doctor said to my husband, he said, you know, I need you, I need you to call her pastor. If she have a pastor or a priest, I need you to make that call now because I don't think she's going to make it. I heard him say that. So, because she can have a stroke, a heart attack, or a brain, you know, what did he say?
Aneurysm.
Aneurysm. So we have to have her priest or whoever, you know, to come in.
I mean,
So
I know,
yeah,
it's so frightening. You went
yeah,
in with your son, and here they are telling you
yes,
to call your priest.
yes. So this is me though. I have to laugh at it now. And this is me. I said, well, no, because I have to take my kids to the park. That was my intention for today. Because the mind is still saying what I can do in spite of what was going on. So he says, I don't think you're going to be going to any park anytime soon. And all I remember, it was a priest. Now, I was non-denominational, still is at the time. And I saw a priest came in and he came over to my bed. And I looked at him and I said, please do not pray for me. I'm not going anywhere. Because what you're getting ready to do is to pray for me to leave this earth. And God is not ready for me to leave. That's all I remembered. And I think in 3 weeks is when I came to myself because they had comatose me in the sense where I couldn't really, you know, talk. They didn't want me to talk because the pressure was so high. So that's when I discovered I had lost 70. Many things happened during that period of time while I was in a hospital. I was trying to figure out. I had a 24-hour nurse sitting next to my bed. That's how bad I was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So anyway, I do remember though that I was asking God, what is it like in my mind in that moment? I was asking God to help me to understand what's happening to me at this time. And I never get the message at that time while I was in a hospital. So when I got home, it took me 6 months to even like get up and walk normal, like a normal person. I was very ill. For 9 years, I took that time to study the word. I took that time to build a relationship with God. I took that time to figure out what was I doing wrong. So those people that are on dialysis, I don't know what it's like being on dialysis, but I know my father went through the same situation. He was on dialysis for a long time. It's painful, it's frustrating. But one of the things that I want to comfort you today is this. Life, while you are still living, is life. Don't think about death at this time because God have you still here for a reason. And you have to take the time that you have to find out why. Because oftentimes when we have cancer and all these illnesses, we spend more time thinking of death, thinking of why, instead of thinking of what can I do with my life now? How can I help others to even teach them about what not to do or what to do? So those of you that's out there, and that's what I did, I started reading more and more and getting the understanding, my sister, that we're always focusing on the negative. Once I start focusing on the positive, then instead of focusing on the body, I was building the mindset. renewing the mind, because the mind is stronger than the body. So when you get this straight, everything is going to flow. You understand?
Yes.
So that's what I started focusing on. You see, these people we have to be conscious of what the renewing of the mind is. What is it all about? Why in the Bible it talks about renewing the mind? Because from the time we get here, our mind is taken away from us. Our mind is taken away from us and it's being transformed into a system that benefit
Yes.
others,
Yes.
but is
Yes.
going to destroy us as in the process. So God is saying, renew the mind, because whatever is going on with your body, if you have a strong mind, it's going to heal the body, because you're telling the body with your mind that this is not happening to me. It can't happen to me. You understand? Focus on the positive. Don't let depression knock your door. When depression knock your door, tell depression you don't have room for being here. The only space, always remember in my book, it talks about God's space. What does God's space mean? If you don't give God the space to work with you, and you have all the junks, all the different garbage around you, he can't get in to even heal you, because you're focusing too much on the negative. So what we have to do is to create that God space. Let God come in. Let God take over your life. He can't get in if you're in the other kingdom. There's two kingdoms, remember. So if you are having all these problems and bringing, because most of our problems are other people's problems that we are
Exactly.
dealing with.
Yes.
It's not our own
Yes.
problems. We are dealing with other people's problems. This is what people do. They come, they unload, it stays with you,
And they
and
move
they're
on.
gone. They come, they unload, and then you have all this garbage. When is it that God
Yes.
can come in to even heal you, to talk to you, to embrace you, to do all the things that He has to do
Yes.
in order to build this body up? So that's what I had to learn. I had to
Especially
learn,
if you have that type of personality,
yes,
because
that
people are
we
always coming
accept.
to you with their problems,
Yes,
everything, and they just
yes.
loading everything on you. Sometimes I have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation at the end of it, I feel so
Yes,
exhausted. Like I've run
yes,
a mile and I know I'm sitting here like,
yes,
oh, that was exhausted. And then you have to like you have to like renew yourself, like you said, renew yourself. It's sort of like you have to like go read a positive book, do something
yes,
positive, go for a
yes,
walk, just to let
yes.
it out.
You have to let it out. So I'm learning now to protect my space. When you want to unload, see, these people unload because they don't want that load on them. So we taking, we absorbing, and we think we're fixing them. We're not fixing them. We
We're hurting
just we
ourselves.
just receiving the load. You know why? Because they come back and they unload. Guess what? With the same problem. So I tell them, if you can't fix it, then don't unload it to me. You understand? Once I speak once, don't come back to talk about the same thing. That's what I tell people now, because you love what you're going through
I have a
and
friend.
you are hindering me in order for me to. Let me just say this about uh, 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 the things that we need to do. Um, I want people to not wait for man to add value to your life. This is something very important to me, because oftentimes we are waiting for man to add value to us. When we notice, when we at work and somebody say, good job, you feel good.
Hmm.
When you do a good work and they don't say good job,
You're like,
you feel bad. I
hmm,
stop all that. I don't need you to tell me good job because I already know I did. You see? So do not wait for man to add value to your life. You will be lost for the rest of your life with waiting for someone to give your experience purpose. Your
value.
life is not increased or decreased, you see, in value based on the accolades man believes you deserve. It's just like an actor or an actress. If they don't get that Emmy, they don't feel that they're the best actor out there. You understand? So part of the illusion that we're talking about today is that many people today still believe there is a checklist. Listen to me, people, that there's a checklist that needs to be completed before they can consider themselves accomplished.
Yes, you
I
need to
don't
get
need
that
a
high
checklist no
school
more.
diploma. You need to get that college. You need to get that house. You need to get that car. You need to have the wife and the 2.5 kids. This is the general checklist that they put on us when we're born,
That's
that you
right.
have to accomplish these. So they put you on their timetable. But what
Exactly.
you are saying,
So
create your own.
there you go. No one can add value to that or take it away. You see, no one should define who you are. Only you can do that. We must reset the way we think, return to our original self before being conditioned by man's purpose for our life. You must tell yourself, the I am that I am created me to be great. God created me to be great. God created me to be great before I was born. I was already great. I was already great. But once you're born into a system that wants to make you think that you are inferior in order for them to be superior, you're already lost. This is why, this is why what racism, all these things have affected us. You see, because racism is only a tool for you to feel inferior and for those that created it to feel superior. It has nothing to do with your color. It has to do with your mind accepting that you are inferior based on your color, when in fact, that is an illusion. That is man's created illusion. You see. So
Unveiling the illusion.
unveiling you got to unveil the
Ah,
illusion. If you don't unveil the illusion, then you are going to be trapped. You see. And that is why you have to always teach your children that they are great, that they were born great. So when they go out in the world and someone tells them, you are inferior, you are this, you are that, they go, no,
nope, I'm
I
great.
am great. So where are you coming with that? Because they were already, the seed was already planted in them. That's what I told my children. You are great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because the color of your skin is just an illusion that they created to say you're a monkey, you're black, they have defined us every name in the book. And what
Starvation,
we do is that
everything.
we accept it.
Yeah.
We accept it. Once you accept something, then you believe it. Once you believe it, you act like it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, we have to remember that success for those, and I want to even go back to what you said about the people that's going through dialysis and all these major illness. It's your mind oftentimes that heals you. Because see, when you are depressed, that is not of God. When you fear, that is not of God. All the negative is not of God. So when you are in a negative kingdom, what you are doing is slowly deteriorating. But when you are in God's kingdom, when you talk about fear, no, I'm resilient. When you're talking about depression, no, I got courage. When you talk, then your body, that's like a medicine.
Your
You
body acts on
understand?
it.
You're gonna act different. Your body's going to start building up. So you have to be conscious of your mind. This is why it talks about renew the mind. But to renew the mind, you have to unveil the illusion first. You see? So that's those are the things that we need to focus on in life, because most of our children are trapped into that illusion because society have taught them that they're nothing. There'll never be anything. So we as parents, we have to bring that, take that illusion and toss it and start building our children back up to who they are.
Yeah.
And if we believe in the illusion, then of course you're going to have a generation,
Mhm.
a generation that also believe it. So that's why we're going in circles, because no one has stopped that illusion. We're
Right.
still going through that illusion.
Yeah.
You see. So we have to make the changes. We cannot expect those that are pressing us to change us. We in the school system, you're being oppressed.
Yes.
At your job, you're being oppressed. No matter where you go, you're being oppressed.
Yeah.
So the only ones that can change that is you.
You.
Mhm.
I always tell people, change starts with the youth. I say
Yes.
people that say past 35 into their 40s, basically their minds are already made up. But the
Hmm.
young people, their minds are like sponge. If you want to
Yes.
change the world, start with the generation below you.
That's right.
That would
Hmm.
definitely change and motivate it. So I work with a lot of young people. Can you tell us where to
Wonderful.
get your book?
Yes, actually, my book is on Amazon.
Okay.
It's $15, but I'm offering let's do this. Let's do this. All those of you that's watching this show, I will offer the book for $10.
Okay.
Everyone that's watching this show,
So
we'll
I'm gonna
offer them
go
for
get my
$10.
copy. And are you gonna sign it? Does it come directly from you, or is it Amazon? Or could I get it and send it to you to
And
autograph it
you can
for
send it
me?
to me and I'll sign it. But those of you, I'm going to give you an email so you can request the book, and we'll have them ship it to you, and I will be able to sign it for you. And we're offering it only for your show, $10, only for your
Good,
show.
good. I'm happy
Yes,
about that
yes,
because I'm going to get my book. I'm very interested in reading more and getting more into unveiling the illusion. A lot of things. I'm not a religious person by
me
far.
either.
I'm South American. You know, I told you I'm from Guyana, and
Yes,
we were colonized by the English. So I grew up Roman
mhm,
Catholic, uh,
yes,
and I've studied Hinduism, which I love. I feel it's
hmm,
peaceful. I've studied Jehovah's Witness, which they do a lot of Bible study, and I think I've studied Baptist, Pentecostal, and a lot of religion, Islam, and everything. And I find that the only way you're gonna find peace is if you find it within yourself.
yes,
See, and I try to tell people that there's 4,700 religion in the world, and we are still unpeaceful people because we want to
yes,
belong. We want to belong.
yes,
Every Sunday we want to go to a church. It's the most segregated day in the universe because every Sunday a group is here, a group is there, a group is there, and a group is there, and there's no coming together. So I said to myself, I'm just going to be a humanitarian,
yes,
and that's
yes.
it. So when people ask me about religion, I always say I'm a humanitarian because I want them to realize that I have
Yeah.
found it within myself how to be peaceful. And peace is the best religion in the world. Like you said,
Yes,
when you
yes,
decide to read, do everything that you have thought, and the Bible is the best motivational book. Like if you like, you don't want to like go to church or whatever, it's a motivational book that will give you peace. You see?
yes,
And if
yes.
you say I'm spiritual or whatever, try to find
Hmm.
peace. And the greatest gift you could give yourself is a peace of mind. Trust me,
Exactly.
you will be looking young like us, so you'll be looking young always.
That's right.
I know.
That is
I
correct.
tell
That
them
is correct.
32 for life. So most definitely, I want to read the book. I will definitely purchase the book
Sure.
and Amazon and get that in my collection because I like to support our
Right.
writers, especially when women are doing fabulous things. So tell us about some of the other programs that you're doing. Tell me about Truth, Love, and Peace.
Well, love, truth, and peace derive from the book. The organization is based on renewing people's mind. I travel around the world speaking to women, especially, and young entrepreneurs and young people about how they can transform their lives, uh, bringing knowledge and wisdom to many communities. I spent almost in and out 2 years in Colombia working with the women there and teaching them about who they are. And these women now are now leaders. They've changed their lives. A lot of abused women decided, you know what? I had enough beating. It's time for me to grow, you know.
Oh, it's time
And
to go.
yeah, it's time for me to go. I've got enough beating.
Yeah.
The mind has to be renewed. And bottom line is that love, truth, and peace. We have a youth. I have a youth organization under the Love, Truth, and Peace. I teach them entrepreneurship. I teach them to think, something that we don't do anymore. We are not thinkers anymore. We are just servers. We're just serving people. We're not creating. We're not building because we were not taught to do that. Our oppressors taught us only how to serve, So I spend most of my time teaching these things. We have ambassadors around the world teaching young people, and young people teaching young people. So the Love, Truth, and Peace organization, I love it because it's doing a lot of great things that needs to be done. And as you say, you're non-denominational. I have to be as well. I had to be because I was being hindered by many in different churches because, and I want to say this because this is important. Those of you that's in churches today and you have something in you that you want to express and you want to work with the youth and you want to work with the women and your pastors are telling you, no, you're not ready yet. No, you're not ready yet. Let me tell you all something. You are ready. God would not put something in your heart, in your mind, in order to just leave it there. He gave it to you. Use it. You
Yeah.
see, He
It's
wants you
like
to
having an
change
itch that you
lives.
can't scratch. It's
Say
it's
that
it's
again.
it's like having an itch that you can't scratch.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes we have pastors with ego that they just want to be the forefront, not realizing that pastoring is to empower your congregation, is to let them seek and discover who they are and the things and their purposes. So when we are telling our congregation, no, you're not ready yet, who are you to tell someone when God tells them that they are ready? Who are you to tell them that they are not ready? So this is why I had to step out. And when I stepped out of this religious um, system, I found myself just flying, flying,
Don't you feel
flying.
wonderful?
Oh, I
I
am doing,
know it's. I
yeah,
felt like once I made that decision, I became the happiest person in the world.
yes, you and many,
I
you
became
see,
the most happiest person because you take
yes,
responsibility. It's no longer the devil made me do it or God made me do it. It's I made me do it.
do it.
Take
Exactly.
responsibility. And that's what people don't get. They're like, how could you not go to church? Because I don't have to. It's
You
here.
have to.
It's
Yes,
here. And once you
yes.
realize that that's it, that's what you need, and it's always going to be personal.
Mm-hmm,
That's when
mm-hmm,
you grow.
mm-hmm.
That's how you
Yes,
could able and go to region of Ghana and work with the Muslim, or you could go here and work with the Christians, or you could go here and work with Pentecostal because it's not a belief that's driving me. It's peace and
yes.
love.
It's yes, yes,
We are
yes.
there. We are there.
We yes. And see, whatever you decide to do about your life, remember this. Go into action
Yeah.
because that's what God wants you to do. He wants you to go into action and make it happen. You see, do not wait for someone to push you because oftentimes we were taught. No, no, we were not taught. We were trained. We were trained to have people to push us. We need to take responsibility and push ourselves because you might not ever get anyone to tell you to move, to get this done. You see, so you have to uh, depend on yourself and stop depending on others for your success.
That's where
Go
the
into action
self-love comes in.
now.
You have to love yourself.
You have to love yourself.
You
You
have
have
to
to
love
love yourself.
yourself. And you love
So
yourself,
the
you want
next
better for
project,
yourself.
exactly. The next project that I'm doing right now, which is, I think, one of the biggest thing I've ever done. And I know for a fact, I want to thank God in this presence, in this moment, to thank Him for giving me this vision of creating the sixth region global chamber of commerce. The sixth region only means that those of us that was taken from Africa, um, we are considered the African diasporans. And the African Union created that sixth region. There's 5 regions in Africa, and they created the sixth region, which is us, those that have been taken from Africa. So now what I'm doing is the sixth region now, Global Chamber of Commerce. We are going to do some dynamite things. Actually, what we're going to do is connect Africa with the diaspora all throughout the world. And also, we're going to be working with the indigenous people worldwide. So, we're going to combine all of us together. We are going to trade. We are going to develop economic developments in these countries. And this chamber is not going to be basically a typical chamber, because this chamber is going to be for those that's in need in order for us to connect in different regions, because oftentimes Africans are doing business with Europe and China and India and other places, but they've never done, I wouldn't say that they're never done, but they're not doing business in our regions, in the Caribbean or in Latin America. And if they do business in North America, which is the United States, it's not with the diasporans. So we need to change that. That is called now renewing the mind. You see. So my book has taught me, when I was writing, these are all the things that we need to change, because colonializers have created this illusion for Africans that they can only do business in Europe. They can only do business in China. That is an illusion. So now the sixth region is going to bring and open the doors now for Africans to come into this region in the Caribbean and Latin America, because we are there. We are present in these places. So one of the things too that I've recognized is that the very European come in our community and go right back to Africa and export from our region to them. So Africa actually, you see what I'm saying? Africa actually do more importing than exporting. So this is what the sixth region is going to do. You need products, you get it from us. You don't need to always go to the Europeans or China, because they are the one that's coming to our regions, getting the products and reshipping it back to Africa, and they are taking what Africa has and bringing it to our region. So we don't make any money. That's going to change. And that's what is called unveiling the illusion. Know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, you know what's going to happen.
If you don't know who you are, you accept anything.
Exactly. You accept everything. And the mind cannot expand. You see, your mind cannot expand, because when I speak to someone from Africa, when they say anything about Latin America, they say South America.
I know.
Which is Brazil, which is so they're
Guyana.
colonial, right? So their colonializers have taught them it's only Brazil. Don't go further.
That's
Just
it.
Brazil.
That is
That
it.
has to change. They don't know anything about Central America. They don't know nothing about Guyana. They don't know nothing about Trinidad, Belize, Nicaragua. They don't know anything. They don't even know Panama has the second largest free zone in the world. Not ever we have had any clients at all from Africa to the second largest free zone in the world. That's going to change. We're going to change it.
Yes. When I
We're
tell
going
people
to
I'm from
change it.
Guyana, They always say Ghana, and I said, no, that's in Africa. I'm in South America. And they were like, oh, the United States. I said, no, that's
Yes,
North America.
yes,
So it's
yes,
always a geography lesson when I tell people I'm from Guyana.
yes.
But funny thing now, I'm working with Ghana, so it gets
Hmm.
even confusing. But I am so interested in the economic, the six regions, chambers of
Yes,
commerce. Sign me
yes.
up. Sign
Oh,
me
you
up.
already signed up. You
No,
can be doing exactly what you're doing for the sixth region. We have to inform our
yes, yes,
African brothers and sisters that we exist. We're no different. You see, when we were taught in school, I'll give you an example. If the British colonialized Jamaica, that's all they're going to learn is about Britain.
yes.
We colonialized by Spain. All we're going to learn is about the damn pirates stealing money in our land. That's all we learned. You
And
know
all
what I'm
we know is
saying?
cricket, rugby, and what's the other sport? Horseback polo. That's all we know in
Exactly.
Guyana.
Exactly. And what we know is soccer. You
Yes,
understand?
yes,
Baseball. So
yes,
whoever colonialized you, that's the culture you're getting. We need to go back and find ourselves and unveil the illusion of all what they have presented to us and say, it's time now. My
yeah.
people, if you're listening to me, my brothers and sisters around the world, my indigenous people around the world, this is not the time to assimilate or mimic your colonializers, your those that have tried to oppress you for you. This is the time to find ourselves. This is the time to unveil all that we were taught that's hindering us. It is time now for us to search. It is time now for us to know the truth. And the truth is, you are not who they say you are. You have to go back and remember what God taught you before you got here. And this is why you are not even giving a name first. You are giving a number, your
That's
ID,
true.
your social security, because you mean nothing, nothing to those that are oppressing you. You're giving a number. You
Yeah,
understand? So that number is a barcode. So when you have a barcode, what do you have? You have a product. You are being considered as a product. And history tells you that. Because when they came and they took you out of Africa, you came to these regions. What did you do? You worked. You
yeah.
worked. You
They
worked. You
took
were
they
just a
took away our
product
name.
to elevate nations. Being slaves, what you did was you built nations. You see, when colonializers came into Africa, what did they do? They brought a religion to you and they say, you believe in that. How is it that you're telling me to believe not to lie, not to kill, not to do all the things that you did to me? How can that be? If that
It
is a true
saddens the heart.
religion, then why are you not practicing what you're preaching? You see, so we have to unveil all of that. You see, God wants his children to rise that's being oppressed by the wicked.
Yeah.
You see,
Mhm.
there's wickedness in the world. Look at
Yes,
what's
there is.
happening in the United States. Everybody's falling apart.
Hmm.
Everybody is God had to teach America, you see, because I knew Trump was going to win. God had to teach America what suffering is about.
They suffer too,
You
right?
understand?
Ah.
He had to also teach the world
Mm-hmm.
who is America. America is not what you thought America was,
Was.
it's an illusion.
Yes.
So now you know the truth
But now
about
you know.
America.
Let's fix it back. Let's
Let's
get it
fix it
right.
back. So God gave you a taste of the illusion of this country, and now He's giving back to you for you to learn and do right by God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what God
And
would
you
do.
can see what the youths are taking the message. You can see in Nigeria, you can see in Cameroon, you can see in South Africa where the youths are rioting. They're now standing up.
Exactly.
Standing up and they're rising
Exactly.
with something they never did before. So positivity is definitely the way to go. And it's like I can't believe we've actually been talking for an hour.
I think it's an hour and a half. Is it an
No,
hour and a half?
it's just an hour. isn't it? It's 3:55. It's only been an hour, but it seems like we've been talking. I can't believe it. But give us all your contact. Tell us what a book is.
Yes.
If someone want to get in touch with you, especially with the Chamber of Commerce, we didn't even touch on the World Trade and Investment Foundation
Yeah,
that you have.
real simple. The Panama World Trade and Investment Foundation is, I started that foundation because in Panama, I'm from Panama. In Panama, when a lot of Caribbean customers was coming to Panama, they were not getting the proper information, only because they were from the Caribbean, only because, honestly, they were Black. So I created Panama World Trade and Investment Foundation. So that way, when they come to Panama, they will get the right information to do business and to open businesses in Panama. That is the reality of things. And I'm not going to hide that. That is the reality. So that's basically what we do with Panama World Trade. We teach, we educate, and we execute. We have done trade missions, different places, different countries, because that's what Panama World Trade and Investment, that's why I created that particular organization. And you can reach me at Melida, Melida, Barrow, Barrow, 14 at gmail.com. Again, I'm going to offer the book on this show only for $10 a piece. And honestly, what I'm going to do, and this just came to my mind, I want to donate partial of those funds to what's happening in San Andres, Colombia. My family lives there, and they just had a hurricane, and Providence was practically destroyed. So I would like to take those funds and donate it to them, and some other funds to donate to the same thing happened to Panama as well. So these funds goes to this is under the Love, Truth, and Peace organization. So those of you, I would consider it as a donation, $10 for each book. And you can purchase this book as gifts also. There's holidays that are coming up, so you can do that. The last thing I want to say is this, and this is in my closing. I want God's children, and that is everyone, to see what the illusion has done to them. Just take a look. I want you guys to take a look at your life, because it can be changed right away if you want to. And it is the time for us now to seek the truth in order for us to live the life that God has created us to live. We're not living the life and you can't blame God. It's us. Yeah. We have to seek the truth. This is necessary in order for us to find peace within ourselves, in order to experience love, in order to experience truth, in order to experience peace. We have to go back and knock on the door of what? Humanity. We have to go back there. It is imperative that we get our humanity back. We have we have lost humanity within ourselves. I want to leave you with something that helped me be here. Where I am today is because I brought back the humanity back to my life. You understand? So it's time for change. It's time to renew your mind. And it's time to bring back the love in our lives.
Wonderful.
And that's it for me today.
That's it. She's wrapped it up.
I wrapped it up.
She came, she wrapped it up. Oh my God, it was such a pleasure. Love you so much. Love everything you do. And I love everything that you stand for. Yes. And that is important. We have mentors and we have people, but when you stand in your glory and you stand in your words, then you are a great person. You just don't talk, action. You see? Action. And I really wanted to talk about your trip to Ghana, but I guess you'll have to come back.
Yes. It was quite an experience.
I bet it was. When you come back,
I was treated as the queen that I am.
You are the queen. You are the queen. I bet it's beautiful. I can't wait to make my trip there and
Yes.
definitely experience it for myself. But I know it was beautiful. Everyone, thank you for joining me. It's another episode. As you guys know, it's going to be podcasts on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Podcasts. So all your podcast channel within the next 24 hours, you'll be able to listen to this show, download this show, and save it to your archives. My jewelry today has been brought to you by House of Bling. So definitely we're going to big up House of Bling and thank them for the jewelry and sponsorship for Women Wednesdays with Lady Be Blessed, Facebook and YouTube. I will see you guys there. See you next Wednesday on another exciting episode of Women Wednesday. Dr. Burrows, thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much. And continue
Thank
being
you.
the wonderful woman
Mhm.
that you are. And I will
Thank
see
you.
you in the broadcast world.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. See you guys next week. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.